There's no power system in anime quite like the devil fruits of One Piece. Mysterious, absurd, occasionally terrifying, and completely unpredictable. These fruits are the backbone of everything that makes Eiichiro Oda's world so endlessly fascinating. Every devil fruit in existence is unique. No two are the same, and only one person in the entire world can hold a given power at any time. The moment you take a bite, your life changes forever. You gain abilities that can shake the heavens, topple governments, and reshape oceans. The catch? You can never swim again. The sea, which rules everything in this world, becomes your greatest enemy the instant you swallow that first mouthful. And to make things worse, every single one of these fruits reportedly tastes absolutely disgusting. Worth it? Almost always. Here's every devil fruit in One Piece explained. The fruits are divided into three main categories: Paramecia, Zoan, and Logia. Paramecia is the most common and the most wildly creative of the three. It covers every power that doesn't neatly fit into turn into an animal or become an element. Think of Paramecia as the catch-all category for the bizarre, the brilliant, and the beautifully broken. The most famous Paramecia in the series belongs to the man himself, Monkey D. Luffy. His fruit, officially known as the Hito Hito no Mi Maro Nika, was for centuries disguised under the fake name Gomu Gomu no Mi. For most of the story, it looked like a simple rubber fruit that let Luffy stretch his body and bounce off attacks. Useful, sure. World ending? Not obviously. But Oda had been playing the long game. The fruit is actually a mythical Zoan, the rarest type in existence, and it holds the power of the sun god Nika, a legendary figure said to have brought laughter and freedom to oppressed people. When Luffy awakened it during his battle with Kaido, he entered Gear 5th, his body becoming a living cartoon. He could reshape reality itself, turn the ground into rubber, pull lightning out of the sky, and bounce it back, and laugh through the whole thing. The world government had been hunting this fruit for 800 years. That alone should tell you everything about what it contains. Moving through the Paramecia tier, you can't talk about these fruits without landing on the Gura Gura no Mi, the Tremor fruit, eaten by Edward Newgate, better known as Whitebeard. Sengoku himself declared that this fruit had the power to destroy the entire world, and watching Whitebeard use it, you believe every word. The man could crack the air itself, sending shock waves rippling across oceans, tilting the island of Marineford with a swing of his Bicento, and generating earthquakes with a simple grab of nothing. He earned the title of strongest man in the world with this fruit, and Blackbeard stealing it after his death shows just how badly everyone in the verse wants that kind of destructive power in their own hands. Equally terrifying in a completely different way is the Ope Ope no Mi, the Op fruit, currently wielded by Trafalgar D. Waterlaw. This fruit lets its user generate a spherical space called a room, and inside that room, the user has total control over everything. You can rearrange organs, detach and reattach body parts, teleport objects, and swap people's minds between bodies. The Navy has called it the ultimate devil fruit, and with good reason. At the cost of the user's own life, it can grant someone else eternal youth. No other fruit in the verse comes with that kind of a price tag written into its power set. Law has used it to perform miraculous surgeries, survive impossible battles, and execute strategies that would take most characters a decade to figure out. Then there's Don Quixote do Flamingo's Ito Ito no Mi, the string fruit, another Paramecia that manages to be both elegant and horrifying at the same time. Doflamingo can produce and manipulate strings that are razor sharp, strong enough to slice through steel, and powerful enough to control human beings like puppets by attaching threads to their bodies. He can fly by threading himself to clouds, construct a bird cage of cutting strings that slowly closes in on an entire island, and even repair his own organs mid-battle by stitching them back together. The bird cage sequence in Dressrosa stands as one of the most terrifying displays of a Paramecia fruit in the entire series. One man, one fruit, holding a kingdom hostage. Next, we step into Logia territory, and the power ceiling shoots up considerably. Logia-type fruits let their users create, control, and physically become a natural element, making them intangible to most conventional attacks. Hit a Logia user without haki, and your fist simply passes through them. The Mera no Mi, the Flame fruit, is one of the most recognizable Logias in the verse. First eaten by Portgas D. Ace, it let him transform his entire body into fire, launching devastating fire-based attacks, and exist comfortably inside an inferno that would kill anything else. After Ace's death at Marineford, the fruit eventually found its way to Sabo, Luffy's sworn brother and chief of staff of the Revolutionary Army, who now carries both its power and the weight of who owned it before him. But fire, as dangerous as it is, loses to something hotter. The Magu no Mi, the Mag fruit, eaten by Fleet Admiral Sakazuki, also known as a Kainu, operates on a level above ordinary flame. Magma is fire's natural superior in the One Piece world, and a Kainu demonstrated this brutally at Marineford, when his magma fist punched straight through Ace's fire and burned a hole through his chest. The fruit gives Sakazuki the ability to transform into and control magma hot enough to melt almost anything, including pacifista armor, and has no known elemental weakness. It's listed among the strongest defensive devil fruits in existence, and Akainu's relentless, uncompromising personality makes him perhaps the most dangerous possible owner for it. The Hiei Hiei no Mi, the Ice fruit, belongs to Kuzan, formerly known as Admiral Aokiji, and it represents Logia at its most versatile. Where fire and magma are about offense, ice is about control. Aokiji can freeze the ocean itself, creating bridges across entire seas, trap opponents in solid ice, and constructing enormous defensive structures in seconds. His precision with the fruit is extraordinary. He can create complex shapes, freeze specific targets without harming others, and chill the battlefield in ways that completely change how a fight develops. The fact that he and Akainu fought on Punk Hazard for 10 straight days, one-on-one, fundamentally and permanently splitting the island into a frozen half and a burning half, is a detail that tells you far more about both fruits than any explanation could. The Gorogoro no Mi, the Rumble fruit, was consumed by Enel, the self-proclaimed god of Skypiea, and it's one of the most overpowered Logias in the verse. Enel could become and manipulate lightning, move at the speed of light, conduct his electrical sense through the atmosphere to detect every living being in a massive radius, and fire bolts powerful enough to vaporize islands. He genuinely believed he was a god, and holding a fruit that makes you electromagnetic lightning with the ability to restart your own heart when it stops beating, it's hard to completely argue. His problem was meeting Luffy, whose rubber body neutralized electricity entirely, which goes to show that even the most broken powers have natural counters built into the world's logic. Equally haunting is the Yami no Mi, the dark fruit, held by Marshall D. Teach, better known as Blackbeard. On the surface, darkness manipulation sounds straightforward. In practice, it's one of the most dangerous abilities in the entire series. Unlike every other Logia, the Yami no Mi does not make its user intangible. Blackbeard actually takes more damage than a normal person, absorbing pain like a black hole absorbs everything else. What makes it terrifying is its ability to completely nullify other devil fruits on contact. Touch a Logia user, and they cannot become their element. Touch any devil fruit user, and their power disappears. It's a counter to the entire system, and Blackbeard used it to capture Ace, set off Marineford, steal Whitebeard's fruit, and carve himself a place among the most powerful people in the world. Rounding out the Logia tier is the Pika no Mi, the Glint fruit, belonging to Admiral Kizaru. Light-based powers sound flashy, but the real terror is the speed. Kizaru moves at the literal speed of light, lands kicks with the destructive force of a laser beam, and can fire blasts that destroy an entire mangrove forest like it was made of paper. Fighting someone who travels at the speed of light isn't a fight, it's just surviving until they decide to stop. Finally, there's the Zoan category and its rarest tier, the Mythical Zoans. Marco the Phoenix carries the Tori no Mi model Phoenix, and what separates it from other Zoan is what happens when you damage its user. Marco regenerates using blue phoenix flames, healing wounds in the middle of battle that would end anyone else. The flames can even be used to heal others, making it the only Zoan with a genuine medical application built in. He held off 2 ancient Zoan users simultaneously at Wano, while also tending to allies. The phoenix is not just a symbol of rebirth in One Piece, it's a literal combat advantage. And then there's Kaido's Uo no Mi model Seiryu, the dragon fruit model Azure Dragon. This is the fruit that lets the self-declared strongest creature in the world become a massive eastern dragon capable of generating devastating wind blasts, breathing fire, and flying over entire islands. Kaido's sheer physical durability, combined with the dragon transformation, made him a monster that entire armies failed to scratch over decades. It took Gear 5th Luffy at his absolute peak to bring him down. Every one of these fruits tells a story. They shape their users, define their worldviews, and determine the course of history in the One Piece verse. Whether it's the quiet terror of Blackbeard's darkness swallowing the light, the laughing chaos of Gear 5th defying physics, or the cold certainty of magma eating through fire, devil fruits are not just powers, they're personalities written into the bones of the world. But if you think this was interesting, check out this other video that's appearing on your screen. Click on it to see.